Hey, the shave we have today has a whole bunch of new items to me. Start with the big. The shaving bowl is a salsa or guacamole bowl from Walmart. I just got it, $1.50, and it's a little small for me. If you've seen any of my normal videos, I usually use a bowl this size, and I really enjoy all the space. I like lots of lather, but I thought I'd try this one out just to see if I could experiment with it a little bit. And you can probably see the ridges. I took my Dremel tool, and it had the sanding drum on it, but it was the thin one, not the typical one that if you've used a tool, you've probably used that drum about 5/8 of an inch in diameter. This one was about 1/4 of an inch in diameter, and because I wanted it to make a deeper hole, a deeper trough, just got in there and made about 7 or 8 radial cuts coming from the beginning, the center, and then moving out. And then between those, I made shorter cuts. Let's see if it's rough looking, but I'm not going for pretty. I'm going for quick lather, functional, and plus this is plastic, so if I drop this in the bathroom, nothing's going to break. Also, I could travel with this. If I lose it, no big deal. $1.50, another time with the Dremel. The one thing that did happen was the Dremel stirred up burrs in the plastic. It built up and so what I did was I had to find something kind of a firm edge, not a sharp edge, and what I had was a bottle opener. It was a Channel Lock brand, one of those that has the same handle as a lot of your tools, and it's a bottle opener. I pretty much never use it. Well, I pushed it like a scraper. I pushed it across in like that, and then I'd turn the bowl and I'd push it in, turn the bowl and push it in, trying to kind of use it like a chisel. Like a real chisel would have cut too deeply into the bowl, but this did not cut. What it did was it scraped away those burrs, that plastic burrs. And then I took a sanding block, a foam sanding block, and just kind of rounded it off a little bit because I don't want this bowl to damage any of the hairs on my brush. So what would I guess? This is maybe 5 inches in diameter, something like that, 5.5, guessing. I think I'm gonna like something a little bigger, but I figure I'd give it a try. So, new to me. Something also that's new to me, this Fat Boy Gillette razor, and I think I like the heft of it. This is my first Fat Boy, and it is a G2 is the code. Can't remember what year that is offhand. It does have a little this bar here is not level, it's not perpendicular the way it should be, which was causing the door not to open all the way. But I just ever so gently pulled that bar out, and so now it opens properly. I didn't want to adjust it too much. So I will be looking out for that as I shave. What will be in the razor is a Gillette Silver Blue. This is a blade that is also new to me. I read some good reviews of it on the internet. Some people find it a good blade. As usual, there are people that don't think it's a very good blade. But I figure, hey, this is a great time to test it out because it's going in a Gillette razor. Gillette Silver Blue. All right. Tighten that guy down. Now let me look at the razor. Okay, so it's that left side, your left, and I don't really see any difference in the blade gap or anything like that, and so maybe I'll be careful and slow with it at first to make sure. I have my Whipped Dog brush, Silver Tip Badger, which has been soaking in tap water. Tap water, I believe, is just fine when using Colonel Conks. And this is the Almond. I should have this blooming. So I'll put a little bit of water in there for now. And I'll just use some witch hazel from Thayer's at the end. Let's give this guy a little try. And I am going to shake out a lot of the water from the brush. Definitely not coming close to dripping, so that I can really spend some time. And I have not had a problem. I've used Colonel Conks Amber. This is from the sampler pack from them. And I've used Colonel Conks Amber, as well as the Bay Rum, which I really like the smell of. I like Amber too, but Bay Rum just is really good. I liked it. Maybe it was I needed that smell on that day, whatever, but I really enjoyed it. Hit the spot. This is also proof that you can easily whip up good lather with a Badger brush on a Glycerin soap, which some people say is a little harder. But I just haven't, if there's a difference, I haven't really noticed it too much. I've got a few drips going. Just gonna keep, since I didn't let it bloom, I think I might grind on it just a little while longer. So I have been trying to find cheap options for shaving bowls. I mean, you can go anywhere to the Dollar Tree or whatever and get a bowl, whether it's a large cappuccino style cup or just a like that white and black one that I showed you is actually a dog bowl, and I love it. I love it. It's great. I used a shallow metal bowl just recently, and it just didn't have near the space, and I really missed having the space for all that lather to go hang out. Okay, I'm sure this is good. Well, I'm not sure, but let's give it a shot anyway. It's too early. I haven't been doing this long enough to be sure about anything yet. I think we're ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and put, you know what, just in case this has more water in it than I thought, I'm going to go ahead and just, well, you know what, just going to get the insides of there wet, and then I want to start. I have no idea if those ridges are going to be yeah, it's going pretty good, but it's a small bowl, and it's got these little 4 legs on it, which may be helpful in terms of holding it. Okay, well, I think I do like this bowl maybe a little better than than that metal one I had. Okay, yeah. See, these weren't really very grippy. So if I move, my fingers can be on the legs there. But if I move my thumb up here to the top ridge, that's much more secure. I feel more confident that I'm not gonna drop a bowl. Now, I was reading online talking about attributes of a good shaving bowl, like if you're gonna have one made for yourself, or if you're gonna try to construct one. And it talked about having it be shallow enough to where your fingers or the handle of the brush don't. Yeah, so this is definitely already, I mean, it's a great lather right now if you wanted to go ahead and start shaving. And I believe that's faster than my my normal bowl would be. So I think these agitate, and here's the thing, I can deepen those troughs with my Dremel tool. Just go back in there and hit it again. A lot. Because this is smaller, I'm having to do a lot more lather management. But yeah, look at that, it is just not a problem. But since it's so small, it's easy to manipulate and just kind of flip upside down and get that lather. Yeah, so, I mean, it looks great. It's got a nice sheen on it. I don't think those, I might want to spend a little bit more time buffing down the those ridges. Look at that. That's nice. That's nice. And I'm gonna have to watch some of my old videos and time how long my normal bowl is delivering this kind of lather. It is kind of a, who knows, part of the speed may be that it is a, oh man, that's pretty. And I think it's at the texture. I'm glad I didn't add any more water. The brush already had, obviously had the soap on the tips, but then it had the water inside the brush. Just had to grind at it for a little bit to make those join. So there is a, that's, okay, this is the Almond. So this is my first time smelling it. Yeah, just a perfect almond fragrance. I've had very good experience with the shave quality of both the Colonel Conks that I've tried before. No reason to think this would be otherwise. Nice. Okay, now I am going to rinse my face so we can lather up. All right. When I smelled this, it smelled a little sweeter in the right from the puck. One of the things I envisioned was maybe using this, if it was sweet, like Sella, using this as a combination element. Like if I had a shaving cream I had bought, or a trial size that I kind of didn't really like the main fragrance of, but it might benefit from a little sweetness. Like maybe it was just too harsh, then maybe get a little bit of this almond, because, you know, I've heard that mixing the glycerin with the normal soaps, with the non-glycerin soaps, can help them to be more slick and all that stuff. So I might try that sometime. Now, one thing with the larger bowl, the soap doesn't get on my my brush handle nearly as much, and so that's this makes it a lot more slick. I chose my 22 millimeter Whip Dog brush because it's a little smaller, since I was dealing with a smaller bowl. Don't know if it makes a difference, but I just decided to try it. It's been broken ends and it works well. Okay, leave some of these thick trails of cream. I like it. I like it to be thick. Feels like I'm doing something. All right. Here we go with the Fat Boy. I'm going to make my first cut on the bad side, just so I'm paying attention to it. Alright, this is my, oh, and I'm using it on setting number 3 because I have no idea what their scale is. I usually don't go for 2, like on my, on my Parker variant, one of my favorites. I don't go any higher than 3 usually, you know. Very smooth. Very smooth. Now that was so smooth. I think I'm going to bump it up. I don't know. There are some of these old ones that you have to open it up before you can change the height. So just in case this is one of those, I'll have to look it up. All right, I'm not having any problem at all. It's very comfortable. So the little abnormality must be negligible in my case here. Feels good to be shaving with an old one. It's shaving like a champ. I like the weight. Rinses quickly. Just found out the other day that this section of my beard right here comes in. I don't have any other sections that come in to the middle like that, and then it does a swirl, an S, and goes back out that way. It's made it really tricky to try to shave in that area because my skin does not like against the grain. That was nice. That was nice. A little piece of history as well as a smooth feeling shave. The razor blade felt great too. Let's, I don't know if I'm supposed to, let's bump it up to a, dare I say 7. Let's try it, see what happens. This is great, nice little, the grip, of course, on it feels great. I don't really need to evaluate this because this has been around longer than I have. I'm gonna rinse right quick and then, all right, got the rinse done. Rinse also provided me with an inspection, and this side over here is not very close, but I had it on the more conservative 3 setting, and so maybe the 3 is definitely not for me, but that's good. I think it's great to have a bunch of mild settings. It's kind of a welcome addition because these are problem areas down here, and if I can tweak it with a good mild setting, it might be the way to go. So let's throw on the white here. Yep, still smelling that almond. Nice, nice scent. Nothing else to it really, just almond. Definitely reminds me of that Sella. So I'll do a cross grain shave next. Paint some of that around here. Try with the higher aggression setting. Love the grip. I also love it when the razor has a, shake some of this water off my hand. Love it when the razor has a larger tail here to make it really easy to maneuver and grasp, and I really like that. This is going to be a good little shaver, I can see. All right, cross grain. Feels great. Let's see. Cutting solidly, not tugging at all, so that's a tribute to the blade. Nice. Yeah, you know, if you had some kind of obnoxious cream or soap that just you couldn't return, you can't find a place for, maybe find a smoother like glycerin fragrance to even it out. Let's see, cross grain for me, and this is that 7 setting. Nice. It's a good blade for me. Good blade for this razor, as it turns out. Gillette Silver Blue. Had a little bit of discoloration on here from yesterday's shave, just a little bit of irritation. I didn't feel it, but you could see it. Hope I don't irritate that. I'd like for it to go away. Okay, that's terrific. No bleeders. This soap does makes me feel like I need to make sure that I only shave in soapy areas, or unless I've recently been in the area, just like a couple of seconds previous. All right, so now that we were shaving at aggression number 7, let's just take a quick look. That's pretty good. This is my trouble area right here. That's really pretty good. That's better than a lot of the, you got Feather and Persona kind of up here, and there's a few other blades like Treat and maybe Kai that are up there in a different world from all the other blades because they're so sharp. But then there's this large clump of blades that are down here in that really sharp area, like Wilkinson Sword and Merkur, and I really like the Wilkinson Swords a lot. They're inexpensive as well. One of the reasons I like them, because they're adequately sharp and they're inexpensive. There's so many other blades that are good in that big area, and those blades on most razors will not really cut this area on me very well at all, and so I'll have to do multiple touch-up runs and that kind of thing. So for this Gillette Silver Blue, is that what it is? Yeah. For this Gillette Silver Blue to take on that pretty easily on the second pass, that speaks highly as a good match for my skin type and this razor. All right, so I'm going to rinse, get ready for third pass. Now here's one little minor detail. If you have a small sink like me that doesn't afford you a lot of room, these 4 legs are kind of a bother. It makes very few places where it'll sit securely. So a little detail for you, just in case that's you as well. So I'm going to scoop the rest of this cream out. I will save, actually, you know what? I'm going to try to get all of it, because, you can always do that last run with that cream that you can squeeze out of the brush. Ah, look, it's showing off my little grooves there. All right. That is not coming on thick at all, is it? Doesn't look thick from my angle. Don't know how it looks on the screen. Do a little bit of scrubbing. Might need some more water, Oh, that's right, because it is a glycerin soap. You know what? Why don't we do that? Why don't I put just a little bit of water on there and just see if anything happens. Yeah, there was no cream in this bowl at all. No lather. I had scraped it all up. And now look, I just put a little bit of water in, and boom. So yeah, I think I didn't quite mix this for as long as I normally do. I got a battery notice on my phone there doing the recording, and kind of skipped a step, or shortened a step. Look at all that lather. There we go. bouncing off my hands so my razor doesn't slip. Of course, this has such good grip, it'd probably be fine anyway. Cross grain pass, and I'm going to try generally to go the other direction, especially in this area, to try to catch as many hairs as I can. I'm leaving it on a 7. Trying to go cross grain right there. To figure out what oil is best to use for this mechanism here, if I should use one, which I assume I should. My first razor was a Gillette slim adjustable that I got from my grandfather, but I quickly switched to electric. Left the razor in the bathroom drawer. This was back, when I was, of course, living with my parents, being a teenager, and I left it in the bathroom drawer. And when I moved out, this is the danger zone here. Take care, I'll create razor burn. Okay, this is the 3rd pass right there. Left the razor in the drawer. Just figured if I ever wanted it, I'd come back and get it. And by the time I remembered, on a subsequent visit years and years later, couldn't find it. Now that I'm into wet shaving with the double-edged blades, I really regret not having access to it, not having it anymore. Not only for, we got a bleeder. Not only for sentimental reasons, but it was a adjustable slim. So it would have been nice. Black handle. Of course, I don't remember the code on the bottom of it. So yeah, let's hit that bleeder with the alum block. Oh, no, that's not one. Can't really smell the almond right now. My nose might have gotten used to it. Where's my almond? Here we go. Gentleman John coming to the rescue. Of course, always remember to thoroughly dry your alum block after use. Since I understand it is a salt, and if you were to take a salt block and leave it in a puddle of water, you would know that it would just disintegrate and dissolve. I'll leave that on for just a minute. And while I'm letting that sit, I'm going to do a little inspecting here. Oh, that is really pretty nice. That's superior in comparison to just a whole lot of the shaves that I've done. So many times I had to report on a certain blade and razor combo that after 3 passes and a couple of touch-ups, I still had a few, hairs showing. And basically after 2, I had very few hairs showing in that area. So that's nice. A lot of these were made, so you can pick them up on eBay or antique shops. Sometimes you'll find a really great deal at an antique shop. All right, now final rinse. Be right back. All right, did a rinse and a dry, and I do feel a little bit of agitation, probably from pushing the envelope here with the 7 setting. That's probably not gonna, that'll be a setting for me that gets it done, maybe gives me a close shave, but maybe doesn't do it as comfortable as I might like. So maybe next time a 5 or a 6 on the on the Gillette Fat Boy. It goes all the way up from 1 to 9. Here, let's do a little razor tour here on my particular. There's the one. So I'm very happy with the performance of this razor right here. Not only to have a piece of history in my hand, but to be able to use it, and probably for years to come, just like men have for decades with even this particular razor. So I'm just really proud to have that. And yep, bleeding stopped on the little bump. Not really feeling any irritation at all, so that's good. My redness is not as, it didn't come back, so that's good too. Let's see, check out my Adam's. Oh, that's nice. My Adam's apple area as well. Nice combo. Okay, so the Gillette Silver Blues get a big old thumbs up from me, that's for sure. Silver Blue stainless. So the Gillette also makes a platinum, which I think I have a small sampler coming in the mail to try out 1 or 2 of those. Love the samplers. That's my personality right there. The Almond from Colonel Conk. So I've seen people kind of bash the Colonel Conks a little bit, just say it's not a very good soap, but it's just an almond smell, and performs great even with a Badger brush. So I went to Walmart and got an empty bottle here, filled it with 70% alcohol. I might start just kind of spritzing my blades whenever I change them, because I'll use a different blade every day. I mean, I'll use the same blade, but maybe in a different razor until it gets worn out. And so in between, as I switch it, I'll do that. I have no idea if it'll make my blades last 1 or 2 times longer, because it'll displace the water, prevent rust on the edge. I don't know. I'm going to try it out. It's a very inexpensive thing to try. Super happy with this combo. Hopefully, you know, this little piece of history. The featured today was the Lather bowl with homemade grooves. If you've already got a Dremel tool with the bit, then this is $1.50 instead of paying $25 or $30 for a grooved bowl, grooved ceramic bowl online. $1.50, and it might do just as well. I think I probably will. I don't know. I probably will. Maybe I will deepen the grooves and see, but it came together really quick. I'm happy with that. I did have to do a little bit more because it's a smaller bowl than I'm used to. I did have to do a little bit more suds management, but you know, once you get a good pattern going, it's almost like a choreography. You know, you swirl this way for a little bit, maybe change direction the other way for a little bit, and then you turn it upside down and get the stuff that's leaking out. And once you do that a bunch of times, I bet it almost becomes second nature and less of a bother to try to manage the lather. So I guess, yeah, actually the biggest drawback I think right now is these legs, and the rim around my sink just isn't very thick to accommodate all 4 legs, and so it's not all that secure. By the way, it felt hollow, like 2 layers of plastic right here, so I decided to take a drill and go through a little spot right there to see if it would go into a hollow area. Well, of course, it went all the way through, and so I put a little contact cement right there, and looks like it's holding up just fine. So grooved bowl worked really well. I think it was pretty fast. So good stuff. Good stuff. I'm back right quick to share with you the preliminary results of the shave between of the lathering process with the black plastic salsa bowl. I went back and looked at the time it took to do that, and it looks like it was about 1 minute and 23 seconds to get a kind of a glob, a brush full of cream that would have been good to keep moving on. Obviously you can keep working it longer, but from my best guess, that was about 1 minute and 23 seconds. And then I took that same full brush in my mind, went back to one of my other videos, just picked one at random, that we used the larger bowl, the dog bowl that's just a lot bigger. And I timed that one out as well. And that was 2 minutes and 33 seconds to get that same loaded brush. Now this was Colonel Conk's Glycerin with the Salsa Bowl versus Sterling soap with the dog bowl. So it's not exactly a perfect test, but it'll give you an idea. Over a minute was saved. You know, a little over half the lather time. So, and it makes sense because my arm was a lot less tired because it had to travel less time, and when it's in the smaller bowl, the hairs are flexing much more frequently instead of as it's moving across the flat surface of the bigger bowl. They're not really flexing, they're not really moving and agitating against each other. Not to mention the lack of grooves on the ceramic dog bowl. So speed savings, yeah. I'm gonna keep trying the black salsa bowl and maybe groove it a little bit more. Make sure that I get in there and remove those burrs with good sandpaper. Make sure those aren't going to catch on any of my good hairs on the brushes that I use. So there you go. Pretty good preliminary estimation results on that type of bowl being pretty fast. All right, take care. Hope it helps you out there.